I found a stranger living in my house for 3 weeks before I even knew she was there. Let me explain. My name is Alex. I'm a security consultant. Basically, I install alarm systems and cameras for rich people who are paranoid about break-ins. I'm good at my job. I notice things, details, patterns. So you can imagine how I felt when I discovered someone had been hiding in my client's mansion for almost a month, and neither of us had any idea. Hey, everyone. Thanks for clicking on this video. Before I tell you this absolutely insane story, drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from. How's your day going? And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button because trust me, this story gets wild and you're going to want to follow along. I promise you won't believe what happened next. It started 3 weeks ago. I was doing a routine security check at the Hartwell estate. James Hartwell is a tech billionaire, made his fortune in software. Now he's worth something like $3 billion. He lives alone in this massive house in upstate New York. 12 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, a library, a gym, an indoor pool. Way too much space for one person. I've been maintaining his security system for 2 years. He's barely home, always traveling for business. The house is empty most of the time, or so I thought. I was in the security office reviewing camera footage from the past week. Just routine stuff, making sure everything was working. That's when I saw it. A shadow, quick, moving across the hallway camera at 2:47 a.m. I rewound the footage, played it again. There, a figure in dark clothes, moving fast, keeping close to the walls. My heart started pounding. Someone had broken in. I checked the alarm logs. Nothing. No alerts. No triggered sensors. How was that possible? I kept watching footage. Different cameras. Different nights. And I found her again. And again. Always at night. Always moving like she knew exactly where the cameras were. Almost like she was avoiding them on purpose. What the hell? I muttered. I called James immediately. Alex. He sounded tired. It was 11 p.m. his time. He was in Singapore for meetings. What's wrong? Someone's in your house. Silence. What do you mean someone's in my house? I mean, there's a person living in your house. I've got footage going back 3 weeks. That's impossible. The alarm would have. I know. But look, I'm sending you the clips right now. I heard him opening his laptop, clicking, then a sharp intake of breath. Oh my God. Who is that? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. I drove to the Hartwell estate that night. The house was dark except for the outdoor lights. I parked down the street and approached quietly. I had keys. I had the alarm codes. But I moved carefully anyway. The front door was locked. No signs of forced entry. I disarmed the alarm and stepped inside. The house was silent. Huge and empty and cold. I stood in the foyer listening. Nothing. I pulled up the security app on my phone and checked the live cameras. All clear. But I knew she was here. Somewhere. I started searching. The living room. Empty. The kitchen. Empty. The library. Empty. I moved upstairs. Checked the bedrooms one by one. All empty. Beds made. Everything in its place. I was starting to think maybe I was wrong. Maybe the footage was old. Maybe she'd already left. Then I heard it. A creak. From above. The attic. The attic access was a pull-down ladder in the hallway ceiling. I grabbed a flashlight and climbed up. The attic was dark and dusty. Full of old furniture covered in sheets. Boxes of stuff James never looked at, forgotten things. I swept my flashlight across the space. I know you're up here, I said quietly. I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to talk. Silence. I've seen you on the cameras. I know you've been here for weeks. I just want to understand why. More silence. Then, from behind a stack of boxes in the far corner, a voice. Please don't call the police. It was a girl's voice. Young. Scared. I'm not calling anyone yet, I said. Just come out. Let me see you. Slowly, a figure emerged from the shadows. She was maybe 18, 19. Black girl with her hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. Thin, wearing jeans and a hoodie that were too big for her. She looked exhausted. Terrified. What's your name? I asked gently. Zara. Okay, Zara. I'm Alex. I work security for the guy who owns this house. Can you tell me why you're here? Her eyes filled with tears. I had nowhere else to go. Nowhere else to go? What does that mean? My stepmother, she said, her voice breaking. She was going to hurt me. I had to get away. I saw this house was always empty, so I broke in. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just needed somewhere safe. I stared at her. This small, terrified girl who'd been living in an attic for 3 weeks. How did you even get in? The pool house. There's a window that doesn't lock properly. I figured out. Smart. The pool house was in the security blind spot I'd been meaning to tell James about. And you've been here this whole time? 3 weeks. She nodded. I only come out at night. I'm really careful. I don't take much food. I clean up after myself. I just needed somewhere to hide. Hide from your stepmother? Yes. Why? What did she do? Zara's face went pale. Her hands started shaking. She killed my father, she whispered. And I can prove it. I stood there in that dusty attic, staring at this terrified girl who just told me her stepmother was a murderer. Okay, I said slowly. Let's go downstairs. We need to talk about this properly. Zara shook her head frantically. No. What if someone sees? What if she finds me? Who's going to see? The owner is in Singapore. It's just us. She hesitated, then nodded. We went down to the kitchen. I made her sit at the counter while I made tea. She looked like she hadn't eaten properly in days. When's the last time you had a real meal? I asked. She shrugged. I've been eating crackers and peanut butter from the pantry. Some fruit. I try not to take too much. I pulled out leftover pizza from the fridge and heated it up. She ate like she was starving. While she ate, I studied her. She was young, scared, but there was something sharp in her eyes. Intelligence. Determination. Tell me everything, I said. From the beginning. She took a shaky breath. My dad was Richard Monroe, she started. The name hit me. Richard Monroe. I knew that name. Real estate developer. Rich guy. He died about a month ago. I saw the news, I said. Heart attack, right? That's what they said. Her voice was bitter. But it wasn't a heart attack. How do you know? Because my dad was healthy. He ran marathons. He ate clean. He had a physical 2 weeks before he died. Everything was perfect. Then suddenly he just drops dead. People have sudden heart attacks sometimes. Not my dad. And especially not right after my stepmother convinced him to change his will. I sat up straighter. What? 3 weeks before he died, my dad changed his will. He left everything to her. Everything. I got nothing. Maybe he had his reasons. He didn't. Zara's voice rose. We were close. He always told me I'd inherit the business. He was grooming me to take over. Then he married Diana 2 years ago, and suddenly everything changed. Diana is your stepmother? Yes, Diana Monroe. She's 32. My dad was 58. Everyone said she married him for money, but he was so in love he didn't care. And you think she killed him? I know she did. Ow! Zara reached in her hoodie pocket and pulled out a small USB drive. What's that? I asked. Proof. She told me the whole story while I stared at that USB drive like it was a bomb. Zara had never trusted Diana. From day one, something fell off. So she'd started paying attention, watching, listening. About 2 months before her father died, Zara noticed Diana meeting someone. A man. They'd meet at coffee shops, restaurants. Always in public, but they were careful. Secretive. Zara started following them. Taking pictures. I thought she was having an affair, Zara said. I was going to tell my dad. But then I heard them talking one day. What did they say? The man, his name is Carl. He's some kind of chemist. He was telling Diana about a drug. Something that mimics a heart attack. Untraceable. He said if she used it correctly, no one would ever know. My stomach dropped. Did you record this? No, I wasn't recording then. I didn't think. She wiped her eyes. I didn't think she'd actually do it. But she did. 2 weeks later, my dad was dead. After her father died, Diana got everything. The house, the business, the bank accounts, all of it. Zara was left with nothing. Diana even kicked her out of the house. She said I was 18, an adult, and she had no legal obligation to support me, Zara said bitterly. She gave me 2 days to pack my stuff and get out. That's insane. That's Diana. With nowhere to go and no money, Zara had panicked. She thought about going to the police, but with what proof? She had suspicions, theories, but nothing solid. Then she remembered the house security cameras. Her father's house had cameras everywhere, and she knew Diana had been acting strange in the days before his death. Nervous. Secretive. So one night, Zara snuck back into the house, her own house, the one she'd grown up in, and downloaded all the security footage from the 2 weeks before her father died. And I asked, and I found it. She plugged the USB into her phone and showed me. The footage was damning. It showed Diana in the kitchen, late at night, wearing gloves. She was doing something with my father's medication bottles, switching pills, it looked like. Another clip showed her meeting Carl outside. He handed her a small package. She looked around nervously before putting in her purse. Another clip, 2 days before Richard died, showed Diana putting something in his coffee when he wasn't looking. "Oh my God," I whispered. "That's not even the worst part," Zara said. She showed me one more clip. It was from a night Richard died. You could see him in the living room, clutching his chest, falling. Diana was there. She didn't call 911 right away. She waited. She stood there and watched him die for almost 5 minutes before calling for help. I felt sick. "Why didn't you go to the police with this?" I asked. "I tried." Zara's voice cracked. "I went to the police station the next day. But when I got there, Diana was already there, talking to the chief of police. They're friends. She donates money to the department. When she saw me, she told them I was a troubled kid, that I was grief-stricken and making up stories. And they believed her. They told me to go home and rest. Said grief makes people see things that aren't there. They basically escorted me out. So you ran. I didn't know what else to do. Diana has money, connections, power. I have nothing. If I stayed, I was afraid she'd make me disappear too. So she'd hidden, found this empty mansion, and moved into the attic. For 3 weeks, she'd been living like a ghost. And now, I asked, "What's your plan?" Zara looked at me with desperate eyes. "I don't have a plan," she whispered. "I was just trying to survive. But now you found me, and I don't know what happens next." I looked at this girl, this scared, brave girl who'd lost everything. And I made a decision. "What happens next," I said, "is we take that video to someone who'll actually listen." Her eyes widened. "You believe me?" "I believe you, and I'm going to help you." For the first time in weeks, Zara smiled. But neither of us knew just how dangerous Diana really was, or that she was already looking for Zara. The next morning, I called in sick to work. I couldn't just hand Zara over to the police, not after what she'd told me. We needed a plan. James was still in Singapore, so I had time, but not much. "First thing," I said over breakfast, "we need to make copies of that footage. Multiple backups, cloud storage, everything." Zara nodded. She'd barely slept. Dark circles under her eyes, hands still shaking when she held her coffee cup. "What if they don't believe me?" she asked quietly. "They will. That footage is solid evidence. Diana has lawyers. Good ones. What if she finds a way to explain it?" I've been thinking about that too. We need more than just the footage. We need the chemist. Carl, if we can get him to talk. He won't. Diana's paying him. "Everyone talks eventually," I said, "especially if they're facing murder charges." I spent the morning uploading the footage to 3 different cloud accounts. Then I called a friend of mine, Jake, who's a private investigator. "I need your help," I told him, "and I need you to be discreet." "How discreet?" "Murder investigation discreet." Silence. Then, "I'm listening." I explained everything. Zara's story, the footage, Diana, all of it. "Jesus," Jake said when I finished. "Okay, send me everything you have on this Carl guy. I'll dig into him, see what I can find." "Thanks, man." "Alex, be careful. If this woman really killed her husband, she won't hesitate to come after the girl." I know. That afternoon, something happened that changed everything. I was in the security office reviewing more footage when my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. "Hello. Is this Alex Chun?" A woman's voice. Smooth. Cultured. "Who's asking?" "My name is Diana Monroe. I believe you may have information about my stepdaughter." My blood ran cold. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Please, Mr. Chun, let's not play games. I know Zara has been in contact with you. I know she's been filling your head with lies about me." "How did she know?" "I haven't spoken to anyone named Zara," I said carefully. Diana laughed. It wasn't a nice sound. "You installed security systems at the Hartwell estate. Very thorough work. But you missed something." "What?" "The tracker I put in Zara's backpack 3 weeks ago. The one she's been carrying this whole time. No, no. I've known where she was the entire time, Diana continued. I've been waiting, watching, seeing what she would do, and now she's brought you into this. How unfortunate. If you knew where she was, why didn't you just come get her? Because I needed to know if she'd shown anyone that ridiculous video she made. Now I know she has, which means I need to adjust my plans. What do you want? I want you to bring Zara to me. Tonight. If you do, I'll pay you $1 million and everyone walks away. If you don't, she paused. Well, accidents happen. To young girls. To nosy security consultants. You understand. She hung up. I sat there, staring at my phone, my heart hammering. I found Zara in the library, reading. We have a problem, I said. Her face went pale. What? Diana knows you're here. She put a tracker in your backpack. Zara dropped the book. Oh God, no. It's okay. We're going to. It's not okay. She was panicking now. She knows. She's going to come here. She's going to kill me. She's not going to kill you. I won't let that happen. You don't understand. Diana doesn't leave loose ends. My father was a loose end. I'm a loose end. Now you're a loose end. I grabbed her shoulders. Listen to me. We're going to the police right now. Not the local ones, the state police. We'll bring the footage, tell them everything. They have to listen. And if they don't, then we go to the FBI, the media, everyone. We make enough noise that Diana can't silence us. Zara's eyes searched mine. You really think that'll work? I think it's our only shot. We were packing Zara's things when we heard it. A car, coming up the driveway. We both froze. Is that? Zara whispered. I pulled up the security cameras on my phone. A black Mercedes, pulling up to the front door, and getting out of it. A woman in her 30s. Blonde. Beautiful. Cold eyes. Diana. How did she get here so fast? Zara breathed. She must have been close. Waiting. I grabbed Zara's arm. We need to go. Now. We ran for the back door. But as we reached it, I heard the front door open. She had a key. Of course she had a key. Zara. Diana's voice echoed through the house. I know you're here. Let's talk. Woman to woman. We ducked into the pantry, holding our breath. I could hear Diana's heels clicking on the hardwood floor. Coming closer. I'm not angry, Diana said. I understand why you ran. You were scared, confused. But this has gone far enough. Come out, and we can work this out. Zara was shaking beside me. I know about the video, Diana continued. It's very creative. But you and I both know it proves nothing. Pills being switched. That could be anything. Me waiting to call. 911? Shock. Trauma. Any lawyer would tear it apart in seconds. She was right. I realized with a sinking feeling that she was right. But here's what I'll do, Diana said. Come with me now, and I'll set you up. An apartment. A monthly allowance. You'll never have to worry about money. All you have to do is stop this nonsense and move on with your life. Silence. Then, and if I don't, Diana's voice went cold. Then you'll end up like your father. And so will your new friend Alex. That's when I knew. We couldn't reason with her. Couldn't negotiate. Diana Monroe was going to kill us both if we didn't get out of that house. Right now, I looked at Zara in the dark pantry. Her eyes were wide with fear, but there was something else there too. Determination. She wasn't going to run anymore. And neither was I. I pulled out my phone and did something risky. I opened the security app and turned on the intercom system that ran through the whole house. Then I pressed record on my phone. Diana, I said loudly. This is Alex. I'm recording this conversation. Everything you say is being saved to the cloud. Her footsteps stopped. Mr. Chun, how resourceful. I know you killed Richard Monroe. I've seen the footage. And now I'm giving you a choice. Leave now, or I call the police and send them everything. Diana laughed. You really think the police will believe some edited security footage? I have the best lawyers in the state. Maybe, but you know what else I have? Jake Torres, private investigator. He's been digging into your chemist friend Carl for the past 6 hours. Silence. Carl's nervous, I continued. Turns out he has a record. Got busted for selling prescription drugs 10 years ago. Jake's with him right now. And Carl's very interested in making a deal. This was a bluff. Jake hadn't found Carl yet, but Diana didn't know that. You're lying, she said, but I heard the uncertainty in her voice. Am I? You want to risk it? Because once Carl talks, it's over. The police will exhume Richard's body. They'll find the drugs in his system. They'll trace it back to you. More silence. Zara grabbed my hand and squeezed. What do you want? Diana finally asked. I want you to confess. Right here, right now. On camera. Tell us what you did. Absolutely not. Then we go to war. And I promise you, Diana, you will lose. Because I'm good at what I do. I find things. I expose secrets. And I will make sure everyone knows what you did. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then I heard it. Sirens. Getting closer. Diana heard them too. What did you do? I called the state police 20 minutes ago. They're here for you. This was also a bluff, but a calculated one, because I was counting on Diana's fear. And it worked. You bastard, she hissed. Then I heard running. The front door slamming. Car, engine starting. Tires screeching. Diana was gone. But I actually hadn't called the police. Not yet. Why did you let her go? Zara asked, coming out of the pantry. Because if we'd cornered her, she might have done something desperate. This way she runs. And when people run, they make mistakes. I called Jake for real this time. Did you find Carl? I asked. Just did. He's at a motel outside the city. Want me to sit on him? No. Call the state police. Tell them everything. Give them Carl's location. They'll bring him in. You sure about this? Positive. Within 2 hours, the police had Carl. Within 4 hours, he was making a deal. Turns out Diana had paid him $50,000 to create the drug that killed Richard Monroe. But Carl had kept receipts, text messages, bank transfers, everything. He was scared of Diana, but he was more scared of going to prison for murder. So he talked. He told them about the drug, a compound that induced heart failure and broke down quickly in the body. Nearly untraceable unless you knew exactly what to look for. He told them how Diana had planned it for months. He told them everything. By the next morning, there was a warrant out for Diana's arrest. They found her 3 days later. She'd fled to her lake house upstate, probably planning to disappear from there. But the police surrounded the house. She had nowhere to go. When they arrested her, she was calm, composed, like she'd been expecting it. At her arraignment, she pleaded not guilty. Her lawyers started building her defense. But it didn't matter. The evidence was overwhelming. The video footage, Carl's testimony, the financial records showing the payments. 6 weeks later, Diana Monroe was convicted of first-degree murder. Life in prison. No parole. Zara was there for the verdict. I was sitting next to her in the courtroom when they read it. She didn't cry, didn't celebrate. She just closed her eyes and took a deep breath. It's over, she whispered. It's over, I agreed. After the trial, things moved fast. Richard Monroe's will was contested and overturned. The courts ruled that since Diana had murdered him, she couldn't inherit anything. Everything went to Zara. The house, the business, all of it. She was a millionaire overnight. I don't know what to do with all this, she told me one day. We were having coffee at a cafe, something normal after weeks of chaos. You'll figure it out, I said. I want to do something good. Something my dad would be proud of. Like what? She thought about it. Maybe a foundation. For kids who've lost parents. Kids who feel alone and scared like I did. That's a great idea. She smiled. Will you help me? Me? I'm just a security guy. You're more than that. You saved my life, Alex. I looked at this girl, this young woman, who'd been through hell and come out stronger. Yeah, I said, I'll help you. That was 6 months ago. Today, the Monroe Foundation helps over 200 kids across 3 states. We provide counseling, housing assistance, legal aid, everything kids need when they lose a parent. Zara runs it. She's amazing at it. And me? I'm head of security for the foundation. But also, I don't know, a friend, a mentor, maybe family. James Hartwell never found out about Zara living in his house, by the way. I never told him. Some secrets are worth keeping. Zara sold her father's house. Too many bad memories. She bought a smaller place and filled it with light and life and hope. We have dinner every Sunday. Sometimes we talk about the past. Mostly we talk about the future. She's applying to college next year. Wants to study social work. I want to help people the way you helped me, she told me last week. You already are, I said. Sometimes I think about that night in the attic. Well, I found a terrified girl hiding in the darkness. I could have called the police right then, turned her in, walked away, but I didn't. And because I didn't, A murderer is in prison. A young woman has her life back. And I learned something important. Sometimes the right thing to do isn't the easy thing. Sometimes you have to take a risk on people. Sometimes you have to believe them when no one else will. Zura taught me that, and I'll never forget it. Hey, thanks so much for sticking with me through this crazy story. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Share this with someone who needs to hear that even when things seem hopeless, there are still good people willing to help. Drop a comment and let me know what you thought, and if you've ever had to make a choice between doing what's easy and doing what's right. Until next time, remember, the truth always comes out eventually, and justice, even when it takes time, is always worth fighting for. Red Heart.